Live. Hey, what's going on, everyone, at the Players Lounge? Aaron Murray here, and I got a special guest right from the freaking portal that is buzzing right now, Mekhi Mews. Man, it hurts me to say this, but former receiver, former specialist, doing all the punt return duties, or the majority of them this year for the University of Georgia. Will be missed. Obviously, a lot of people in the chat already saying, hey, man, we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. So we're going to have a very interactive chat tonight with Mekhi. I'll be asking questions, just kind of talking about, his time at Georgia, kind of what he's looking forward into the future. And obviously we'll be answering a lot of questions from everyone in the chat as well. So put your questions in there. Mekhi and I will be talking about everything from the season to the portal and how life is in the portal for these guys. Mekhi is going to kind of break it down for us throughout this evening. Mekhi, man, happy Sunday. Appreciate you jumping on with us.
No problem, man. I'm excited to get forward. I'm a little sad that I'm, like you said earlier, that former dog, but it is what it is, man. Got to move on from here. Whatever's next,
Well, I was saying in the pre-chat when Mekhi and I were kind of just talking about the plan for the show tonight, I was like, listen, you got some rings. So how many total rings are you walking away from the University of Georgia with?
So 7.
Oh my God.
So you get 1 from the College Football Playoff Committee for the national championship, then the national championship. Then we got the Orange Bowl. That was the 3 from the first year.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time winning that, you got the SEC, the CFP national championship that they give us, and then the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl ring, and then the other Natty ring. So 7.
Can I have one? Just one? I'll take one. Just give me something. My goodness. You ain't walking away empty-handed. That's for damn sure.
Not at all.
Not at all. My goodness. All right. Once again, everyone, obviously in the chat, leave your comments, like, subscribe. For those who have yet to go watch it, Javon and Meeks had their possibly final show because Meeks as well is in the portal. So go check that out. Both those guys obviously have done a great job this year. And still waiting to hear about Javon if he comes back or does he declare for the NFL draft. So a lot of uncertainty right now with the Bulldogs. But one guy that we do know will sadly not be with us next year, as Miss Collins said, we're going to miss you, Mekhi. You represent Dog Nation and TPLL. Yes, Mekhi was one of our main guys here on the channel doing content with us all season long. We will definitely miss him. And hell, hey, we may need to roll up a show wherever you go, Mekhi, too. That would be a good time as well. All right, let's get into some questions here. What was your most memorable moment for your time at Georgia? Like when you think about Georgia football, when someone asks you at your new school, hey, what's the one thing you remember? Bam, this comes to mind.
The first national championship, I would say. Coming from high school, you don't know what to expect. Going to college, like you don't know the difference, especially like a college of this caliber, one of the best teams in the nation, the best team in the nation at the time. So just seeing how the process of that worked, and then like at practice, like the way it went and throughout the season, you would think we suck because how much yelling and fussing and coaching there is. You know what I mean? Like the coaches getting on to us every single thing we do. We can't never do it. Like we'll do something good and there's still something wrong. You know what I mean? But just to win a national championship and just realizing that like most people like dream of this, you know what I mean? And I got to be able to be a part of a team my freshman year. It was like insane. It was like perfect for me, honestly.
No, it's man, we all know it. Like Kirby finds a way to push those buttons, and he finds a way to motivate and create that competition Monday through Friday, which like we hear from a lot of the guys, which is what makes Saturday so much easier because you guys get after it so much during the week. Question from the chat here: What schools are you interested in from average Hawks fan here? Is there anyone that kind of reached out? Obviously, you don't need to get into crazy specifics if you feel uncomfortable, but like, is there anyone that you've talked with that you feel comfortable, or is there a type of situation maybe you're looking for, like an offense or a conference looking close to home? Like, what would be your ideal situation?
Ideal, maybe somewhere on the West Coast, man. I want to get a new scenery. The West Coast teams like to spread it out a little bit more. Just be able to contribute more, like as a receiver, as I go to whatever new school it is. So be looking out forward to somewhere on the West Coast, man.
So, I mean, obviously that's the key. We all know what you could do on special teams.
Yep.
We all remember what you did in the spring game, and kind of MVP doing what you did at receiver. Hell, you kind of passed in this past game, and then you've done a great job, especially on some of those quick games that Bobo likes to do this season. So, like, the emphasis is, hey, I'm more than just a punt returner or specialist guy. Like, I want to have a more of a role. Obviously as a receiver going to be forward. That's kind of what you're looking for.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. So what's the process like making the decision? Kind of like give us behind the scenes of, you're in the portal. Like, is it like speed dating? Are you coaches reaching out to you? Are you reaching out to certain programs that maybe you have a previous relationship with? How does that work?
Yeah. So it's like speed dating, and like so coaches reaching out to me. I'm reaching out to coaches. UGA as well helping me out. Them reaching out to coaches as well,
Yep.
trying to help me out get to places. It's definitely speed dating. I didn't have like much offers out of high school. I didn't really have any connections to go into it. I know like other guys like 5 stars like that had like 40 offers and then they enter the portal like they have 30 offers the next day. You know what I mean? So just reaching out to coaches and stuff like that.
Yeah. So Ryan wants to know in the chat, why are you leaving? I guess it's kind of what we talked about, like just looking for that opportunity to be more of a
Yeah.
full-time role is kind of what
Yeah.
we're feeling here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
No, I
agree.
get it. Any would you consider, who is this in the chat? Was it Super Cheese? Would you consider Colorado and Dion? Because that's a big difference. Like if Dion came knocking, obviously a big difference
Yeah.
from Kirby and personalities and the way they run the program and all that. Like with someone in the portal, how, because we saw what he did last year. He had
Yep.
essentially took his old roster, got rid of it, brought in a brand new roster through the portal.
Yep.
Does that excite guys in the portal? Like someone like you, if he did reach out, like, is that a program you consider? I know you said West Coast, it's pretty West. Would you consider Colorado?
Yeah, I would consider Colorado. And I mean, anytime I feel like Dion reach out to you, you have to take into consideration just who he has as a person, who he is as a person, and what he stands for. I mean, I feel like he improved Colorado this year. I mean, it might not have
Yeah.
been to what everyone, the hype or the expectancy that everyone thought, but they had won one game in the previous 2 years, I think. So just winning, what did it go 4-8 this year?
Yeah, 4-8.
So I mean, that's already a drastic improvement. I bet next year they can be above 500. So
And they just got, one, they leave the Pac-12. They go to a somewhat easier conference with the Big 12, especially losing Texas, Oklahoma. They've brought in 2 big-time recruits this week, high school kids wise. So I obviously don't know if those guys are going to make immediate impact next year, but like they're heading in the right direction, no doubt about that. Jay Ledge, 35, wants to know, what is the toughest part? Like when you had to make this decision, what was the thing that kept you
yeah,
up at night?
just fellowship with my teammates. Also, my house is like 45 minutes. I'm from Gwinnett County, so it's also leaving home, not having the accessibility to family and friends, like guys that I went to high school with. So just not being able to be with those guys, the teammates, of course, like we grinded day in and day out, like blood, sweat, and tears. And these are the guys like I talk to every day. Like these are people I hang with. People, it's just like changing schools as a kid. Like you don't have any friends. Like now you got to make new friends. Got to find your niche. All that. So
What is a team getting with you? Like, sell yourself here. I'm a coach, and we're talking about that speed dating. Like, we just sat down at the table. We got a minute, and I need
yeah,
to know who you are, what you're about, and why you deserve a spot through the portal at my university. Go.
I feel like I deserve a spot at your portal first because I'm a God-fearing man. God always comes first in my life. That's who comes first. And I know I could be the hardest worker on your team. I have a chance to change your culture just from coming from UGA. We have a championship culture coming in the locker room, changing the locker room.
Yeah. Amen. Help the teams love that. It's a person who does like that, who Tim says Dan Lanning needs to snatch you up. Hell, that offense with some of those quick hitters that I like to do this year, they got Dylan Gabriel in the portal, a little lefty that can fling it around a little bit. That'd
Yeah,
be a nice spot. Plus, you get some pretty
it would.
sweet
It would be a
uniforms
nice.
as
Yeah,
well.
Oregon definitely has the best uniforms.
Ooh-wee. All right. Kind of off the portal topic here. What's been the kind of the response in the locker room? And obviously, you guys have, it's a weird situation right now with guys in the portal, guys kind of figure out what their next steps are. You have final exams. I'm sure, you guys are going to get some time off to go home. But like being around the guys, like how different is it obviously right now compared to the past 2 years when you've been getting ready for essentially a national championship push?
Yeah, it's definitely kind of different because we were number one team coming into the Alabama game, and then losing it and dropping 5 places off that
Mm-hmm.
loss, going to 6. I mean, we were hurt about it because we had a 29-0 run before that. I feel like we're still a top 4 team,
Yeah.
me personally, and I think all of our team does, and a lot of people around the world, around the country does. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate, but there's nothing we can do about it now. So it's just you just control what you can control. Just go out to this Orange Bowl and win.
Yeah.
Know
Yeah,
what you
man.
control.
Are you playing in the Orange Bowl?
No, I'm not.
No. Mm.
Sadly.
I'm hoping Florida State plays in the damn game. We'll
Yeah.
find out. I'm still waiting to hear what the hell's going on with that. Unbelievable. I know you've played a little bit of everything. Obviously, we talked about the receiver. We've talked about kind of what you do on special teams. But Doghouse, good question. Like, are you considering switching positions? Maybe the running back spot. I had you guys first game of the season. I remember going to practice, and the running backs were pretty banged up. And I saw you and Bell getting snaps back there. I mean, how comfortable are you playing a running back role, just like your versatility in general of what
Yeah.
you can do in an offense?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable. I'm pretty open to playing running back as well. I mean, I don't think my preference would be full-time running back, but if
Mm-hmm.
that's what helps a team, then I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my preference would probably be at receiver and play back too. Just any way, honestly.
Yeah.
Running back, receiver, return specialist, like any way I can help the team. And I know like I'm limited in my positions because of my size, so I just bounce around from all 3: return, receiver, running back, wherever.
Yeah. Hell yeah. We got to give Rick's wife a shout out here. My wife absolutely loves you. How about a shout out before you go? Her name is Shelly. Does she love me or does she love Mekhi or both? But I'm guessing more Mekhi over here. He's the young dazzling man. I'm just the old gray haired father of 2 now. So come on, give Shelly a shout out, Mekhi.
Shout out to Shelly, man. I don't know who it is. It's probably Aaron though. Aaron is a UGA legend. He tried to act like he's not, but
I'm old news now, man. I always get all these kids would come up to me and be like, man, I remember watching you when I was like 10 years old. I'm like, man, I'm freaking old. I am getting old. My goodness. All right. Similar fun questions that I have for you, kind of, that I want to kind of continue the conversation with. Who's been, I guess, the person you've leaned on the most in this decision? Family member, friend, pastor, whoever it is. Like, who have you kind of consult with, even the coaching staff a little bit of making sure that you were making the right decision for yourself?
yeah, I would honestly say the church, my
Yeah.
church pastor, people of the church getting information, and of course my mom. It's a big adjustment for her too. So just making that decision, but this decision was thought out a little bit like during the season as well. It's not like it was just a emotional decision, like just a spur of the moment decision. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm pleased that I thought it out for a long time, weighed the options, and I feel like I made the best decision for me. And that's all I could ever do. So I'm pleased with this so far.
So family ain't gonna be mad at you on the West Coast though, because I remember, I'll tell you this, like when I was coming out, I fell in love with UCLA,
Yep.
and my dad told me, he said, "You go to UCLA, you're gonna make it real hard on mom and your mom and myself to make all those games." So it kind of like,
Yeah.
I guess I got to stay on the East Coast, and obviously it was a really good decision for me. But how much of that of it, or is you got to take what you can get kind of mentality? Like how do you weigh that when you're making that decision of still staying, like you said, the nice thing about being at Georgia is being 45 minutes away, still
Yep.
being somewhat close to home, but kind of obviously creating your own path as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel like that would make it hard on them to go to the West Coast. But I mean, they go to any game regardless. Like even when our game was in LA, but
Mm-hmm.
now there's gonna be more games on the West, so I guess it's more traveling, more expenses. So I'm sure that they won't like it as much, but I think they'll do it for me.
Damn right, the baby boy. All right, Tim, with the most important question in the chat: if you move to the West Coast, you gonna grow your hair back out?
Nah, I'm done, man. I think this is a little bit. I'll grow it out a little bit more, not as long as it used to
When'd
be.
you cut it?
Before fall camp,
Just too hot? Didn't like it with the helmet on?
just needed a change. Sometimes you just need changes, so I feel like I needed that. Switch it up.
If I cut my hair, it may not grow back. Appreciate Brett throwing some love out there. For sure. I cannot trust enough anyone here who is not a DGD holder or not subscribed to the Players Lounge. Look into it. I've met Aaron, Champ, Todd, Nicobe. We appreciate it. We got a lot of great stuff coming out this next semester. More shows, more players, more sports, baseball, softball, basketball. We got it all at the Players Lounge. So once again, appreciate everyone jumping in the chat here on a Sunday night. Like, subscribe, go watch Javon and Meek's show from this previous week as they themselves talk about the portal, talk about what life is like right now. You know, obviously, unfortunately, Dogs will not be fighting for a national championship spot. Fun question. Pre-game rituals. What's your pre-game ritual?
I don't have any pregame rituals.
Nothing.
I
Any
guess my
music you listen to? Any weird things?
This is weird. I guess my pregame ritual is not listening to music in the locker room.
Oh, okay.
See, everyone
You
else.
guys got music going on, or it's all individual?
It's usually everyone else's ritual is to listen to music.
Oh yeah.
And even on the field when we warm up, like not pregame, but you know how receivers will go out catch balls before everyone's listening to music. But I don't know why. I just don't like having headphones in and walking around. I like to be aware of my surroundings and hearing things that are going on in my environment. So I don't like wearing headphones at all. I don't listen to music at all with my headphones ever. So I never listen to music before the games.
Just want to hear what you want to hear the away fans screaming and yelling at you. Get all pissed off before the game. Do you have any plans to follow Vandergriff? And obviously, you don't have to answer that one because we already kind of talked about kind of what your decision making is. But kind of what do you expect from him? He's going to Kentucky. You obviously have worked a lot with him during the past couple of years. Just talk about where have you seen Brock's growth and just kind of his confidence or your confidence in him that he could be QB1 at Kentucky here in the SEC.
Yeah, I'm excited for Brock. I mean, he's an amazing player, carries himself well, God first guy, and I'm ready for him at Kentucky. I think over these 2 years since he's been here, well, really 3, that he's improved like drastically. Because quarterback is a tough position as a freshman to come in and play. Quarterback is a tough position. I know like all the fans are like, we want Vandergriff to play like as a freshman. I'm like, as a freshman, that's a hard position to play. You got to know what everyone's doing. You got to read the IDs. You got to – there's probably – you play quarterback. Yeah. You know all the stuff that goes into it. And I only know half of it. Like I couldn't even play receiver my freshman year because I wasn't even that in tune with the playbook and what was going on. But, I mean, Georgia is one of the best places to develop players in the country. So I'm sure at Kentucky, I have a lot of faith in him in being QB1 at Kentucky.
I agree. And I'm with you. Like, just from a throwing standpoint, seeing where he was a couple of years ago to where he was this season in the offseason, and just knowing Brock, that he's a hard worker, he's a great kid, he's going to get in there and continue to grind and progress as a quarterback. HDO Sports wants to know favorite teammate. Who's your favorite teammate? Who's that guy you're going to miss the most in the locker room?
Lad and Ant.
Who?
Anthony Evans.
Okay.
Anthony Evans. Yeah. Number 17, that did punt return in SEC championship. Yeah, nice. That's my guy. We play the same position. He came in under me, plays punt return under me too. He plays slot under me as well. He's going to be really good. He's a phenomenal player.
Nice. Receiver wise, who's a young guy that didn't play this year that you kind of saw in practice as someone that Dog fans may see a little bit, whether it's in the Orange Bowl or obviously in spring practice, of someone that's kind of ready to emerge if obviously with some of these guys possibly moving this offseason?
Yeah, I would say Anthony Evans. Once again. Yeah, he's good. He's really good. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the Orange Bowl, getting some reps in the game and putting on a show like he usually does. I mean, the kid's a baller.
Here's a fun run from Jacob Rose. What would you say to other players? So if someone hits you up, like, "Hey, man, I know you're leaving. Maybe there's a spot open for me." What
Yeah,
would you say about Georgia of why they should consider the Dogs?
I would say they should consider the Dogs first top tier program. First of
Yep.
all, they're gonna do things right, the right way. If you want to get developed, Coach Smart is the best coach at doing that, developing
Mhm.
players. So if you want to get developed and have a true shot at the NFL, it's the place to be.
Yeah, and you're gonna grind your butt off, baby. Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's
it's gonna
go.
be you gonna grind.
All right. Before we let you go, we appreciate you. Obviously, we know you got some homework still left to do and some things to tidy up there before you kind of figure out your next destination. Just any final words for the dog fans? Obviously, once again, like we appreciate everything you've done with us here at the
Yeah.
Players Lounge. And like I said, man, we may be on the West Coast expanding the Players Lounge next spring and next fall. But um, last well, actually, we have another question before we do that. This is a good one. This is a very good one. Before we get your last words out to Dog Nation, who on the team would you not let date your sister?
Shoot. There's a lot of guys.
Ooh.
Let me think of one specifically.
uh,
Maybe
too many guys.
Kendall.
Half the team. Half the team.
Too many guys, man.
Too many guys. Listen, not much has changed from obviously when I was there. All right, so for a last one before we let you go, just final message, man. Just kind of what Georgia's meant to you, and kind of last hopefully not last message to the Dogs, but at least last message maybe on this platform for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia has meant a lot to me. It's a place where I grow so much individually as a person. This is where I got saved at the University of Georgia. So it means so much to me. And I appreciate Dog Nation for just accepting me. And I feel like I gave it my all at Georgia. So I'm content at what has gone on. And I'm just ready for the next chapter.
Amen, man. Well, we're a big fan of you. Obviously, everyone in the chat's big fan of you, and Dog Nation will be following Mekhi Mews wherever he goes from East Coast to West Coast. I'm sure Mama would like him to stay on the East Coast, but heck, man, go enjoy that West Coast vibe and whatever it is. Obviously, you'll make the best decision for you and getting that very talented self on the football field here very, very soon. All right. That's Mekhi Mews. Once again, appreciate everyone jumping in with us tonight. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We have more content coming out this week. Malachi Stark show is coming out, I believe, tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that and plenty more. So stay tuned. Go follow the socials. Go subscribe so you get the notifications, all that good stuff. And we will see you again very, very soon. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.